Well, here's something that you didn't know. 2 of those special atomic bombs haven't gone off.
YouTube.
Can I do a bong hit while we're done our show?
I don't care. Do whatever you want, man. Meeting's now streaming live on YouTube.
I'm not allowed to because my parents watch all my stuff.
Are your parents actually going to watch us? Are they watching us?
Probably.
Okay.
My dad loves football, so I mean, I would not doubt that.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, well, is Steve still allowed to take bong hits?
Oh, I don't care. Yeah.
My parents are too old
You say in
to
front
watch
of
my
your
shit.
Yeah.
All right, guys, welcome to another episode of fantaCTE. Once again, I'm Nick Masick. We have special guests tonight on our episode. If you're watching on the upper left-hand corner, or let's start actually age before beauty. Let's go on the bottom down here. We have the artist formerly known as Kathy from Human Resources, also known as Steve Lamm. The intern.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Wonderful to see
Pleasure.
you. On the upper left-hand corner, we have the mastermind behind Stuck Smilin comedy, the golden boy of South Florida comedy in general, Sean Mullins.
Great to be on the CTE podcast. Yeah, I couldn't make the dementia podcast, but
Sean, I think Sean's the only person, you're the only one who overlaps between the fantasy football league
yeah.
and also that the group chat where we came up with the name.
Oh yeah.
There's a bunch of idiots.
I got to see all of them.
The only person who's in both of those. All right, so real quick, first of all, what do you guys? Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, of course, man.
And Vital couldn't make it, so these guys. Backstory for anybody who's listened to other episodes: these guys are both members of the Dick Pick 6 Fantasy Football League and South Florida Comedians. So they're part of it. Steve played last year, I believe, tied with me for 8th place.
Oh, dang.
And Sean it's his first year playing.
Yeah, rookie.
Managed to get the first pick overall in the draft. So that's very typical.
Yeah, nice pick, by the way.
Yeah.
Took my guy.
Yeah, I'm not even a Giants fan. I just had Saquon Barkley and Evan Ingram left on my lineup, so they need to fucking do something.
We're going to get to that. We're going to talk about what needs to happen tonight. But first of all, we've been talking a lot on the podcast about team names. And we went through our team names last time. Sean, I have to give you props as the only other person, I think, one of the only other people besides me and Vital who actually did what you're supposed to in fantasy football, which is choose a pun for your team name.
Right.
Can you tell us how you got to it, though?
There's just been a running joke between me and a few other comedians where we just say Joe Mama. And it's not that clever. And then I just thought of average Joe Mamas. So, I mean, yeah, genius right there.
Yeah, it works. Steve needs work on his, and I can't believe I'm saying this to the middle-aged guy, but you need help, and Sean might be the only person who can help you.
You know, I was beside myself after last Monday when I was with you, and you did nothing but berate me because I had a non-pun name, and I hadn't changed my name from last year, and I actually spent time looking things up to change my name, and got so frustrated that nothing was making me happy that I said, "Fuck it, I'm not doing it." You know. So it's labia.
Yeah, I'm not even going to talk shit. You have the most points. Labia is the fucking leader.
No.
All hail the labia.
And first of all, it's complete and total bullshit that you have the most points because I should have drafted Di-vante Adams. But that being said, your best player clearly is Di-vante Adams, at least as of right now. So if you are going to, because Vital isn't here to tell you, he scored, 42-something points?
Yeah, 42.6.
Just buried me. So because Vital's not here to tell you, I'm going to tell you that Di-vante is who you should use if you're going to rename your team. And something, this is Sean's area of expertise. I don't want to speak out and act like I know more about puns than Sean Mullins does. But Di-vante is the perfect, like you could do Di-vante
Adams apple.
Di-vante Adams, any Di-vante something. It's just begging you for a great name.
Di-vante Adams and Eve.
I was just thinking of the Adams Family that came to me immediately.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay,
you need to back
I'll
him, like-
reconsider it. I don't think I'm going to come up with anything in this podcast.
No, that's fair and totally.
But honestly, I understand. I have to think about the name Di-vante because I am older than you guys, but I never had a friend named Di-vante in my life. So I never even
now
had
you
a
have
chance
now you have a friend
to
named
rhyme it with
Di-vante.
anything.
Yeah, you have a reason to look up to a Di-vante.
What rhymes with Di-vante? I mean, nothing.
No. You don't have to rhyme with Di-vante. Use Di-vante like you're
a pun. Use a wordplay.
Like
All right,
you're
I'll
an
work
old
on it.
guy.
Let me
Like
write that
Di-vante
down.
more
Hold on.
lox and bagels. Di-vante more of.
You like my new Cadillac? It's a Di-vante. That's too long.
There's no such thing. You can have a long name.
Okay, I'll work on it. Hey, when can I change it?
What were you gonna say? When?
How long can I change my name for?
You can change it anytime you want. You can change it every week. You can change it every 5 minutes if you want.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I didn't even realize when I asked both of you that I was gonna be stuck with two Giants fans. You guys are Giants fans.
You just can't hang.
Well, I got it. So first, before we get into what we need to have happen tonight, or what you guys need to have happen tonight specifically, just give me what were your takeaways? Did you guys watch football all day yesterday? Did you just sink into your couches and soak it all in? So what jumped out at you? What stuck out at you from this weekend from football? Either one of you guys first, whatever. Sean, you go first.
What I'd like to say is it made it interesting to me because I had a reason to watch whatever was on TV. Yeah. Usually I have no reason to watch because it's bullshit and whatever. Some guys I don't know that are half my age making way more money than me. Have a nice day. This time I'm paying attention because I want that guy to get the ball. Every time he does, my points get higher and higher because nobody's going to touch me this season. Nobody's going to touch me. No offense.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
but it was nice to be able to watch the games, and
it's great.
I'm looking forward to tonight because unless you have a miracle happen with two guys, I'm good basically.
So as far as tonight goes, I'm getting lambasted by Steve Lamm, which you can also use that as one of your team names, lambasted. I'm getting just destroyed, mostly because of Di-vante Adams. I'm losing by, I don't know how many points. I got our scores up here. I'm losing by almost 50? I'm losing by right now.
Wait, let me look it up. Hold on.
I got it. I'm losing by almost 50.
Oh my God, 49 plus.
And I didn't have a bad week. Like, I'm going to probably finish in the top half of our league in terms of scoring. And I had some guys that just, like, totally laid eggs and shit the bed. Di-vante Adams is crushing me. I can still potentially – so what I need is I basically need the Steelers' defense to get a pick six every single time they get the Giants get the ball. That's what I need. And I need what's his name? James or Connor for the Steelers also to have a pretty good game.
Yeah, he just needs to carry the team.
and I need Deontay Johnson, who you're playing still, because you're not even done. You're 160. You still have more.
I know.
Yeah, you still have one more.
Yeah, I need him to sprain his ankle in the first play. Sean,
guys, I'm just liking, and I don't know a lot about this stuff. I'm just liking the fact that I'm beting everyone.
Yeah, that's fucking
not just
crazy.
Nick. I don't feel bad, Nick, because I'm beating everybody.
It's a long season, Steve. And
I know. I mean, in this game, I'm just saying I have enough points where there's nobody close enough to beat me. Nobody's projections beat me.
Nobody has a shot. Sean, tell us what you need tonight, because you actually
I fucked up. Yeah. I had a show Wednesday and Thursday, and I forgot to set my fucking lineups. And then Sammy Watkins was like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna decide to fucking be a beast." And I had him on my bench, and he scored 20 points. Could have had 20 points right there. So pretty much all I need is Saquon Barkley and Evan Ingram to go off. You know, I just need the Giants to do their fucking Giants thing. But that's not likely because the Steelers have a fucking great defense.
They got a nasty defense.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be fucking tough, but hopefully.
I mean, I think it could happen. You only need 40, 41 points, I think, to actually catch up to Warren. That's within reason. Like Saquon and Evan Ingram,
they could do it.
Could get you, 40 points.
Definitely.
That's actually, it's not.
That's doable, man. If the Giants play their game tonight, if the Giants do well, you're good.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if they get way down because of all those Steelers pick sixes, and then the Steelers just play prevent defense and they just start gunning it. That's also
Yeah, my guy in the Steelers is going to kick. Unfortunately, I'm against the Giants tonight. That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you already won. It doesn't matter. He can roll his ankle in the first play. It's fine.
I'm so partial. I needed to pick like 2 Giants players at least, which is dumb.
I was going to ask about it. So you picked, and we talked about this earlier in this pod, like other episodes. You had the first overall pick, and you picked Saquon Barkley over Christian McCaffrey, which I was happy about because I was second. I got Christian McCaffrey.
Exactly.
He did great this week, even though it's not helping me beat Steve. But we talked about this because everyone's like, oh, Saquon, whatever, over McCaffrey. But I looked it up, and over the last 20 years, about 50% of the time, the guy who gets drafted second usually outscores the guy who gets drafted first. So this year, it's entirely likely impossible. You have just as good a chance of having the highest scoring player in our league with Saquon.
Who knows? Yeah, it was just I like him, and it was between him and Patrick Mahomes, honestly. But I wanted a running back because I read somewhere that you should have a running back. I don't know.
I mean, it's a good pick, and it's nice when you can pick somebody that you also want to root for. It just makes it more fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great pick. We'll see tonight, though. All right, so other possible team names for Steve: No Carbs.
Sugar-free.
Joe Mama is not sugar-free.
No.
Steve's off carbs. Sean, I don't know if you knew this. He was talking about eating rice at some point. I was like, if you're
isn't that a carb?
It is, and it's the pussiest carb there is.
But I want to cheat with the rice.
Rice.
I just have brown rice.
Man. 2 weeks.
What's the equivalent of cheating with rice? Is that like cheating with your friend's ugly little sister or something?
That's like getting an over the pants hand job or something. That's not even cheating.
and over the pants.
You can tell your girlfriend about it. She won't even care. She'll be like, nah.
Yeah. But you do. You have to change your pants. You know what happened.
No carbs. Because I might not be no carbs all season.
You can change it after.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, let's do a quick little roundup. Some important news from the league, not our league necessarily, but from the actual football league.
Oh, good.
There's a bunch of injuries that are they're fantasy relevant. 2 guys from your team, Steve. Marlon Mack is out for the season. He ruptured. I think he's ruptured Achilles tendon, which fucking blows. That just makes me cringe.
Is he out?
He's out for the whole season. Yeah, Achilles.
I gotta go find a new guy to give me fucking 10 points.
Yeah.
Also, Le'Veon Bell is out for it looks like a couple weeks. So you're gonna need to find a new guy to give you 4 or 5 points. Also.
Exactly. He gave me 6. Come on, 6.
Terrible. You might not even start him when he comes back. I don't know. The Jets looked fucking bad.
So I got to drop Mick.
You don't have to drop him. There's no reason to keep him if he's not coming back this year. We have injured reserve spots. We have extra injured reserve spots because of potential COVID cases. That way you can fill up your roster if you need to. Keep Le'Veon Bell. Mac, I don't think there's any chance.
Mac, I'm dropping.
Achilles tendon, and so
I got to put Le'Veon in injured reserve.
Yeah,
and pick 2 guys basically.
Basically, yeah. That's pretty much you're gonna have to. You'll be.
Do I have to get approval from the Don of the league?
No, you just go in the waivers. Well, I'm not gonna explain it to you again this year, though.
No, I have to. I'll figure it out. I got him last year.
No.
Figure it out.
Sean, you know how waivers works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've done it.
I look it up online. I know YouTube.
I had to spend an hour talking to Steve last year about waivers and explaining it to him, just so he didn't feel like he got cheated out of the whole.
Yeah, I used to work customer service too. It sucks.
I won't ask any waivers questions.
That's half the reason I wanted to do the podcast this year, because if anybody asks me anything, be like, we covered it already. Episode 3, go back and listen. Like, you have no excuses. Like, I already put all of it out there. If you don't want to listen, that's fine. But I'm not going to answer your stupid questions anymore.
Your new answers are episode 2, 1535. Go right there.
Yeah, all the bullshit
All our
we went through. Let's see who else sucked. Mark Ingram, he's on my team. He sucked this week. I don't think he's injured. He might be injured. He just sucked. All of the Browns were terrible. I know it's a big surprise for everybody. The Browns were awful again. Yeah. Like, Baker Mayfield sucks. He tanked my whole season last year is the reason I fucking lost. But Odell Beckham, I think somebody picked him pretty not high, but like he just shit the bed.
He had like 2 catches. Yeah.
I tried to get him, but somebody snagged him, thank God.
Luckily.
You were going to get him over Di-vante Adams, probably.
Oh, wow. Yeah, probably.
By the way, I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but Nick has a little bit of a sand in his Hey Nanny Nunu over Di-vante Adams at the moment.
Here's what happened. Di-vante fell all the way down, and I didn't expect him to. And my neighbor was over here just yapping my ear off, distracting me before the draft. And I knew I was going to take first or second, I was going to get either Saquon or Christian McCaffrey. I knew that. And then I had this great idea. I'm going to take both Bucs receivers. Hopefully they'll both be there at the end of the second, top of the third round. Thinking that's going to be a great strategy for me, which it was. In a normal draft, that is actually a pretty good strategy. Somehow Davante Adams falls all the way down to the third round. He should have been drafted like 8th or 9th. He's going in the first round in most drafts. Like, he's first, maybe top of the second. I didn't even realize he was there. Completely passed on him. Took my second Bucs receiver at Mike. I took both Bucs receivers over Davante Adams. Fucking idiot. Anyway.
By the way, you want to know
all
my
your cards
secret?
on fucking all in, you know.
All in on the Bucs. I know.
Yeah, crazy.
My secret was during the draft. There's a little box on the left that you put people that you might want to get.
Mm-hmm.
And other people I talked to didn't do that, but I just loaded it up with all the guys that I would take.
Potentially, yeah. When
it was time, I just went, oh, he's on top. Boom. Yeah. Thank you. So thank you, Nick, for not noticing.
Thank you for giving me draft advice.
42 points for a wide receiver is crazy, though. That's insane.
What's insane? Oh, 42?
Yeah, from Davante Adams, dude. That's so crazy to me. That's a crazy week.
I know. It's not going to happen every week. And that's
no, it's not.
Yeah, but that's one of the reasons I wanted both Bucs receivers, because both of those guys could, like, they're going to be up and down every week. So picking between the two of them is tough.
Yeah. Mike Evans just did not do well this week. Yeah.
He's got a hamstring injury, and I think.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he's a decoy, and Brady's not on the same page. I think it'll pan out for me in the long run. I think they're going to be smoking by the end of the year, but
hopefully,
week 1.
I'm like partial for all Florida teams, you know, because I'm from Florida. You know, I want them to all do well because they're all so bad. You know, it's horrible.
I mean, with the exception of the Dolphins, Tampa sucked. Jags won. Jacksonville won.
Yeah, they won too.
Yeah, but no, they're the only ones who won.
Oh, yeah.
And they're the only ones who actually had fans. Steve, you were talking about this today. I worked with Steve today. You were talking about how, like, the absence of fans, like, they just kind of, like, you didn't even notice it almost. Right?
Oh, I didn't notice it until I was hanging out. My girlfriend said, "Are there people in the stands?" And I was like, "I don't know. Hold on a second." And then I finally caught a glimpse of these stands, and there was no one there. Yeah. But they were piping the sound in. It was amazing. It was great. It made me. It actually. I was mentioning that the game made me feel like we're getting back to normal when the reality is we're not. Yeah. But it made me feel good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was cool. The illusion of fan, like, I hardly noticed either until, like, I was actually, unless they were talking about it, you couldn't really tell with the broadcast, with the exception of Jacksonville. They actually let some of the fans go in Jacksonville to the stadium.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was the only stadium, I think, yesterday. The Chiefs did a little bit, and they won the game, which is cool. So, home crowd actually did matter, and they got the win.
Personally, I didn't like it. It sounded like a Madden game,
Oh, you mean the sound noise?
Yeah, honestly. It sounded like a Madden game, It sounded consistent, there was no, up and down. Personally, I wish they just, turned it off and we could just hear them hit each other, That would be my fantaCTE.
That'd be interesting.
I could hear it happening.
That would have been pretty cool, actually, if you could hear. I did hear a couple really loud swears coming from a few coaches, just cursing out the refs. That came through a couple times. I was like, ooh.
Sometimes it got bleeped out, which was funny. I don't know what's funnier, the curse word or the bleep.
Either way, they're both good though. So one other thing that jumped out at me from yesterday. So all right, couple things as far as the guys who went down and guys to pick up if you're looking at waivers. So with Marlon Mack going down, Jonathan Taylor is taking a big boost. He's one of the rookie running backs in the first round. It looks like a bunch of rookie running backs are going to be super fantasy relevant, especially with that happening with the Colts. But also J.K. Dobbins with the Ravens got way more work than Mark Ingram. If you guys watched Thursday night, Clyde Edwards-Helaire with the Chiefs was lights out. He's just going to be a monster.
That was crazy.
And then who's the third rookie or the fourth rookie? Oh, the fourth rookie running back was the guy from the Lions. I don't know if you guys caught that Lions game at all. Did you catch any pieces of it?
That's all the end of it, kind of. Yeah.
They lost at the last second. Matt Stafford threw a perfect pass to his new rookie running back, first-round draft pick, and he just dropped it right in the end zone. Just muffed it. Tried to catch the ball and turn while he was catching it, and it was the last play of the game. I think there's one play. They took one more shot after that. But Stafford made the throw, perfect comeback, beautiful pass, and the guy dropped it. But they did use him a lot, and I think they're going to keep using him. But the biggest thing that I noticed coming out of the Lions game was Adrian Peterson still. He had 98 yards rushing against the Bears defense, and he's 400 years old. He still looks –
I was going to say, isn't he been in the league forever?
Killing it, dude.
Ever. And he still looks like unstoppable Adrian Peterson. He's maybe lost a step. But you can't even tell because he was already so much faster than anybody else and just twice as big. He rushed for almost 100 yards. Last year he rushed for 900 yards. The year before that, 1,000 yards. This year it looks like the Lions he's going to be one of the main guys for the Detroit Lions. And he's going to rack up those yards. So Adrian Peterson's probably on the waiver wire. Nyheim Hines had a huge game for the Colts. He's going to be a waiver wire pickup probably, especially with the other running back, Marlon Mack, going down. And Malcolm Brown, the Rams running back. Nobody really knew who the Rams running back was going to be this year. It looks like it's going to be Malcolm Brown, who's Todd Gurley's old backup. Those are a couple guys on the waiver wire. A couple tight ends had big games, I think. Dallas Goedert. A few other tight ends that are still available out there. There's a bunch of players that I think you're going to see a lot of activity on the waiver wire this week. Definitely from you, Steve. That's for sure. Speaking of the waiver wire, I need to bring your attention to this because there's no rule against it. But Steve and I figured out today, Sean, that Vital is actually tanking for the first pick on waivers for week 1.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's – I guess it's a legitimate strategy. He's already pretty much lost. He only had his kicker left to play, but he benched his kicker to try to make sure that he keeps the lowest point total, which means for week 1 he'll get first pick on waivers. I actually have a low enough total right now that if
I would just pick people up. I'm dumb.
What?
No, I said I thought we just pick people up. I'm dumb.
So the way waivers works is it's inverse order of standings.
Got you.
So for week 1, the lowest score is going to be the first draft pick. Or the first pick on waivers. So Vital will get whoever he wants. He'll get the first pick.
Fucking.
But here's the thing. I could undercut him and tank even further than him because I'm 3 points lower than him, but I'm still going to take a shot at beating Steve. It's not that risky to tank because our tiebreaker scenario is head-to-head matchups, not point total. Our first tiebreaker is head-to-head matchups. Mm-hmm. But the second tiebreaker is still point totals. And last year, that's how Rob Callert snuck into the playoffs and crept all the way up and got third place overall because he had the point total over me and Steve and I think Warren. So I'm not going to tank because I don't want to fall into that scenario. Even though I'm going to probably lose to Steve, I want to keep those point totals up because it could come down to that in the 6th seed again. But anyway, Vital,
good luck, man.
Legitimate, thank you, You're going to lose this week too, man. Shut up.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I know. I think I could do it, you know.
You could. You definitely.
I mean, the Giants are pretty inconsistent, and they fucking let me down every year, but it's all right.
Not every year.
It's not that I'm hurt. No.
I'm a Patriots fan. I know for a fact they don't let you down every year. There's at least a couple years when they haven't let you down. All right, so let's see. What else are we going to do here? We're going to – so we did this thing. We're going to wrap it up pretty quick here, but we're going to talk real quick about – so we did this thing last week, and we're probably going to keep doing it throughout the season, where we pick a quarterback who we think is going to be shittier in fantasy this upcoming week, than Colin Kaepernick would be, because we want to show support to Colin Kaepernick. We think he could still play in the league. And also, we think that there's almost always going to be a starting quarterback in the league this year, every week, that he would play better than. I'll give you last week's picks. So the bar we set was like 15 points. We're like, all right, Kaepernick, he can still run a lot. He's really athletic. He's got a cannon for an arm. Put him on any team, any field. He'll probably give you 15 points. Last week, Lonnie took Mitch Trubisky. Mitch Trubisky scored 26 points. Mitch Trubisky
put in that work.
Totally surprised everybody and had a comeback win against the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
So Lions wrong. Vital took Sam Darnold of the Jets. Did you watch the Jets game at all yet?
Oh, yeah, definitely. That was crazy.
That was so ugly. The Jets were awful. So Sam Darnold had 11.2 points, fantasy points.
Yeah.
Terrible. I'm fairly certain Kaepernick would have.
He didn't even show up, yeah.
I don't even think he left the sideline. But even worse than that was my pick. I took Dwayne Haskins of the Redskins against the Eagles. Dwayne Haskins actually won I said Redskins. They're not the Redskins. The Washington football team beat the Eagles yesterday, which you guys should care about, I guess.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That was a fucking awesome game. They just beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, right. But Dwayne Haskins still only scored 10.82 fantasy points.
Dang.
He did not throw a touchdown.
Really? Damn.
Yeah, I don't think he did. I mean, I don't think he made enough plays, but I think it was a lot of defensive stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I checked our scores, and that's in our league where the quarterbacks actually get more points than they normally would. So Dwayne Haskins was the big loser of the 3 picks we took last week, even though he got the win. So if you guys want to play along this week, give me who your shittiest quarterback for fantasy you think is going to be this week, who you would play Kaepernick over if you had to this upcoming fantasy week. Who you got? Anybody?
I freaked out about Sam Darnold because that was going to be my pick this week because he just did not show up, dude. Like he could definitely – and the New York would be awesome for Colin Kaepernick because it's a big market for a quarterback. Yep. So he would honestly, like, do well there. So I don't know why they don't, like, just let him fucking go to the Jets. They're not a real team. You know?
That's a great point. So
they play in our stadium.
It's not even their own stadium.
Exactly.
So Sam Darnold, great pick for this
definitely.
Week.
I agree with Vital, 100%.
Yeah, probably for next week. You're picking for next week though.
Oh yeah, exactly. I agree. I'm keeping going 100%.
Yeah, I think Sam Darnold's a great pick for next week, probably for the entire season. I bet
exactly
for more points than him every single week.
Because I hate them so much.
Ooh, the Jets?
I'm going to go with Fitzpatrick.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that.
It's magic.
He did not have a good game either.
4 points last week.
Ugh. He only scored 4 points last week?
4.44.
Oh,
did he?
God. That is awful.
Did he get, like, taken out or something?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Damn.
How about this? I might watch a game if Kaepernick was the quarterback from Miami.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. It's the same with the Jets, you know? Like, people aren't watching those games,
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah.
That's another really great pick. All right, so you had Sam Darnold. I had Fitzmagic. You had Fitzmagic, Steve. I'm gonna I'm going to take just a flyer on. I'm going to take, not that he had a terrible game last week, but I just don't see him doing a whole lot. I'm going to take Tyrod Taylor for the Chargers. And I think they have a tough matchup next week. I forget who it is. But I think they're playing up against a really good team, and he just didn't really do a whole lot. They won the game by accident against the Bengals. Like, they shouldn't have. There was a missed field goal, I think, that cost the Bengals at least to overtime. So
Poor Joe. He should not be there.
I know. I felt so bad for Joe Burrow. He did everything right, and they still lost. Like, welcome to Cincinnati, Joe.
His speed's crazy. He's going to be good, I feel like. His speed was insane that game.
Yeah. No, he looks really good, but he's on the Bengals. They're just not that good.
That's how I feel about Stafford on the Lions, too. Like, he's so much better than that team.
Yeah, forever he's been that team. Like, he's so fun to watch. He's so good. Like, I'll bet on Stafford to make plays every single game. And, yeah, just like that kind of shit. Your running back drops it in the end zone. He's got a ton.
He had Megatron back in the day, and he still didn't, put it together. Somehow that team didn't.
Yeah, back then it was a defensive issue because they were putting up unbelievable. He was throwing for 5,000 yards and 30 points a game, but their defense was just a sieve. Like, they were just terrible. And now, I don't know, like, they hired a defensive coach, Pat's old D coordinator, but he hasn't been able to put it together.
He's my backup quarterback, Stafford.
He's your backup quarterback.
Yeah.
He's a good backup.
He scored 16.8. That's not bad for a backup quarterback.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
And he should have scored more because he had a drop pass in the end zone.
Yeah, I thought about that when you said that.
And that was also without their number one receiver, Kenny Galladay, who's a top pick.
I had him on my team, and I had to sit him.
You did? Oh, so that's another.
Should I keep him? I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, dude. He's going to be a monster.
Is he going to come back, you think, or do you think he's out for the season?
No. I think he's coming back. I don't think he's that serious. But, you can always put guys in the IR spot. We have all those injured reserve spots just for that. So
okay.
I
got to look more into it, yeah.
So, yeah, you can move.
I almost fucking took him off my team.
No, I mean, you can, but I don't want to advise you.
All right. Sweet.
So what you can IR is injured reserve, and any guy who's designated out, it's not like a suspension. As long as it's an injury and he's out for the game, you can move them down there to the IR spot, and then you can fill up your bench with other guys to fill in the meantime. So you don't have to lose your player. But you can still fill your bench up and not lose like that roster spot. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It's pretty easy. It's just
IR.
If they're injured, when you say like edit your lineup, it'll give you IR as an option as one of the spots to put them in. So
can I do that tonight? Can I do that now, or do I have to wait till tomorrow?
You gotta wait till tomorrow because we're still technically in week 1.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, well, we got this game coming up pretty soon, so let's.
I gotta go watch it.
Do this. First, next week's matchups. I have Vital. I think Steve, you are playing Stephanie Wood, so that should be fun matchup.
I think I'm playing
Sean. I think you're up against Cam Bertrand.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so Steve, you probably have an easier route than any of the rest of us. Cam's team.
Is that
pretty good? 146.
They say he's got an easy early part of the season. Like, do I have an easy early part of the season?
I mean, I don't know. We didn't know that my team was going to shit the bed week 1, so no, I wouldn't have said. I was projecting your
team shitting the bed.
I was projected to be the highest scoring team this week, so you shouldn't have had an easy start to the season, but you did. Stephanie's team looks not great, so although she could still win tonight, her and Jay both have low scores, and that's going to be a close one. So, you could start off 2-0 pretty easily, I think. Sean, good start.
Once I make my lineup right, Cam Bertram, I'm coming for you. I don't know.
That's going to be, man, Cam's team looks good. I don't know, but so does yours. All right.
It's going to be a good match.
So let's get before we get off this, we're gonna go watch this game real quick. Who are you guys picking tonight? Who you got winning? Giants, Steelers. Pick the game. Tell me.
Giants, yeah. 100%.
Giants.
Yeah. Giants. Partial, yeah. But
yeah, I just gotta say Giants. I can't.
You're both such fanboys. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Really,
but I feel like the Steelers are honestly one good quarterback away from fucking being Super Bowl champions.
I like that you're saying Ben Roethlisberger is not a good quarterback because I would have to agree with that.
I think he's going to get hurt this game or one game after or something like that.
I don't think there are two teams that I hate more than the Giants and the Steelers.
Yeah.
Normally I root for a tie when they play. But I really hate Roethlisberger. I think he's a piece of shit. I think they're do you know how bad it is?
Semi-rapist, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's going to be their
What's
they're going to do if they ever get.
That's my
sex
sex slave. That's my victim.
Perfect timing. There you go.
Right.
Yeah,
She just got out.
I told my cousins. My cousins are all Steelers fans, and I'm like, you guys suck, fucking Steelers,
Yeah.
pieces of shit. I told them this year, I think if they ever do have fans, when they do Fan Appreciation Day, they should give away Steelers-themed rape whistles. That should be their
The flags are just like white flags. They're like, get away from me, Ben.
Yep.
Get
This
away.
terrible child to wipe up the cum.
Oh, exactly. To wipe up that terrible evidence.
Anyway, now that Eli's gone, I'm going to root for the Giants, but I don't think they're actually going to win. I want them to, though. I'd rather see the Giants win than the Steelers, but I'm picking this.
I mean, everyone wants to root for a young team, you know.
Yeah,
They're all like under 24 or something. They're all like 24 or something like that. You know?
Yeah, they're
super young.
exciting. They're super fun. And then the late game, I'm going to take the Titans. I don't know if you guys want to pick the late game. Titans versus Broncos. What do you got?
I think the Titans, yeah, definitely. Broncos are just a young team this year. Yeah.
I'm going to say Broncos because Sean said Titans, and I'll be.
Oh, dang.
You just want to disagree with them more.
I'll be going.
Titans were just like a beast last year, and their running game's off the chart. So it's just.
Yeah. I love Derrick Henry. I think he's going to be a monster again this year.
He was a beast in Alabama. He's a beast in fucking Tennessee, man.
Yeah. It took him like a half a season to get going, but man,
exactly.
He's just been rolling. So, Steve, I almost wasn't going to ask you to pick that game because I know it's past your bedtime when we're watching. But we'll let you know what happes.
Exactly. You'll get text updates about it.
First Monday night. Thank you guys so much for joining. Once again, fantaCTE. This is our podcast. We're going to be doing this every Monday night, and we're going to be live on YouTube every Monday night. Probably typically around 7:00. We did earlier tonight because we have 2 games, and one of them's early, which is why we're going to get off. But you can also listen to us if you like our podcast. Listen to fantaCTE. That's capital CTE. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Pocket Podcasts, and there's another one that I forgot. There's a couple other ones I forgot. But anywhere you want to look for podcasts, you can find us and listen. And we will see you guys next week. Thanks again.
Thank you. Peace out.
All right.